The female lead name is Lu Yan, who is an anesthesiologist. She is dreaming of her past with her ex-boyfriend. Suddenly, she receives an emergency case notification. Lu Yan hurriedly rushed out of the dorm after 2 consecutive surgeries. In the conference room, as Dean Han introduces the patient's condition, Lu Yan is surprised to see that the family members are none other than her ex-boyfriend Cheng Yi and his mother. Both are visibly awkward upon meeting. Dean Han explains the details of the hospitalization of Zhang Chengyi's father. Although the tumor is benign, timely removal is the best treatment option, and now is the optimal time for surgery. Lu Yan further elaborates on the potential risks of the surgery, which are within normal expectations. Cheng Yi decisively opposes the surgery, citing his father's high blood pressure and the potential risks, preferring medication unless necessary. Seeing the family's resistance, Dean Han asks Lu Yan to escort them back to the ward and explain the benefits of surgery. She tells Cheng Yi he can request a different anesthesiologist if he feels uncomfortable seeing her. Cheng Yi coldly replies that she isn't significant to him. He simply refuses the surgery. Back in the ward, Cheng Yi and his mother avoid mentioning the surgery to his father. Mr. Zhang notes that during his short hospital stay, Mrs. Yang has added almost all the hospital's single female doctors on WeChat, enthusiastically matchmaking for their son. Hearing this, she recalls Lu Yan, who had just explained the anesthesia risks. She comments on Lu Yan's intelligence, beauty, and how easy she would be to get along with, encouraging Cheng Yi to get to know her. That evening, Lu Yan receives a call from her friend Tang Jia. Her fiancé has invited Cheng Yi to be the best man at their wedding, meaning the two will inevitably meet. The next day, a peculiar man suddenly rushes into the hospital lobby, rolling on the floor and shouting about stomach pain. Passing by, Cheng Yi notices the man's abdomen bulging unnaturally. Upon inspection, he discovers a timed bomb strapped to the man. The man is nearly unconscious from pain. Cheng Yi asked a nurse to notify the dean immediately while he called the police and reports the situation to his superiors. A bomb disposal expert is already en route, but the timer on the bomb shows only 14 minutes remaining, too short to wait. Dean Han diagnoses the man requiring immediate surgery. Cheng Yi is asked to assist with the dual task of performing the surgery and defusing the bomb, as he has a year of bomb disposal training. To minimize exposure, the hospital limits personnel near the patient. Lu Yan volunteers to stay and assist. After completing the surgery to save the patient's life, Cheng Yi requests all other medical staff to leave. Taking on the task of bomb disposal himself, Lu Yan insists on staying to monitor the patient's blood pressure. The bomb disposal expert guides them remotely, explaining that 2 wires must be cut simultaneously to avoid detonation. Lu Yan picks up surgical scissors, prepared to assist Cheng Yi. Despite his reluctance to let her take the risk, her resolute expression convinces him, knowing it's nearly impossible to cut both wires alone. Together, they cut the wires with just 1 second remaining on the timer. Both were trembling when they knew they were still alive. Cheng Yi successfully removes the detonator and carries it outside for safe disposal. Dean Han and his team return to the operating room to finish treating the patient's wounds. After the surgery ends, Lu Yan hurriedly runs outside to find Cheng Yi. Suddenly, she hears Cheng Yi calling out, but before she can respond, he walks straight toward a group of colleagues. Lu Hao informs that Commissioner Xing will arrive soon and that the urgent matter has been resolved. The group then returns to the ward. Mr. Xing stops by to visit Cheng Yi's father, an old colleague. He thanks for raising such an outstanding police officer. After Mr. Xing leaves, Yang's father suddenly decides to undergo surgery. Hearing his father's determination, Cheng Yi schedules a meeting with Dean Han to discuss the surgical plan again. During her morning run, Lu Yan receives a call from her best friend, reminding her to be on time as a bridesmaid the next day. The bridesmaids gather in the dressing room on Tang Jia's wedding day. 2 other female classmates, including Ding Jing, approach to give an expensive gift. However, the bridesmaids appear indifferent to their presence. Ding Jing asks whether Cheng Yi will attend the wedding. Tang Jia suggests she go outside to meet him. After she leaves, the bridesmaids gossip about her pretentious attitude and mock her unrequited 4-year pursuit of Cheng Yi during college. Cheng Yi prepares to drive away but notices Lu Yan waiting for a ride, so he offers her a lift. They feel awkward. He glances at Lu Yan, stating that she owes him an explanation for their sudden breakup years ago. He really wanted to know the truth but she didn't answer. Upon arriving at the hotel, Lu Yan gets out first while Cheng Yi parks the car. Shortly after, their old classmate Wen Peng arrives at the hotel entrance. Spotting Lu Yan, he takes out a luxury chocolate, a brand she loves, and starts a conversation. As they prepare to take the elevator upstairs, Cheng Yi joins them, handing Lu Yan a lipstick she left in his car. The three of them arrive at Zhang Wenxuan and Tang Jia's side, drawing surprised reactions from their old classmates. Cheng Yi explains that they simply ran into each other on the way. During the wedding ceremony, Wenxuan becomes so nervous that he forgets his vows. Standing behind him as the best man, Cheng Yi whispers the lines to help him. Lu Yan watches as Cheng Yi recites the vows, which feel almost directed at her. He remembered the first time he confessed his love to Lu Yan. Although slightly confused, she smiled in acknowledgement of his sincerity and did not forget to kiss him. Back to reality, Lu Yan was so happy that she cried when she saw her best friend happy. Cheng Yi continually glanced at her feelings, clearly still loving her so much. As the guests prepared to take their seats, Cheng Yi subtly reserves a spot for Lu Yan. Ding Jing quickly takes the seat beside Cheng Yi. Seeing this, Wen Peng seizes the chance to invite her to sit next to him. Cheng Yi uninterested in Ding Jing's advances. He responds curtly to her questions and eventually has a few classmates drink with her, distancing himself by several seats. Meanwhile, he always kept an eye on Lu Yan and Wen Peng's intimacy, recalling a basketball match video between the engineering and medical schools from their college days. Tang Jia projects it onto the wedding hall screen to let people recall old memories. The video shows Cheng Yi and Wen Peng fiercely competing in a high-stakes game. During a break, the cheerleading squad performs, with Cheng Yi and Wen Peng focusing on Lu Yan. Ding Jing forgets her move and struggles to keep up. To save her from embarrassment, Lu Yan and Tang Jia jump in with an impromptu traditional dance that livens up the atmosphere. The video ends with Wenxuan and Tang Jia's wedding photo, and someone suggests Tang Jia perform another cheer routine. Undaunted, Tang Jia pulls several bridesmaids on stage, leading everyone into an impromptu dance. The festive mood is suddenly interrupted when a photo of Lu Yan, Tang Jia, and Deng Man appears on the screen. The room falls silent. Tang Jia quickly explains that she had requested Deng Man's photos be removed beforehand but isn't sure why this one remained. Overcome with emotion, Lu Yan excuses herself to the hotel entrance for air. Wen Peng follows her and offers to take her home, but she insists she's fine. Cheng Yi also rushes out, holds her hand and insists on driving her back. Her mood in the car was extremely bad, making Cheng Yi sigh silently. At her door, he places his coat over her shoulders and leaves his number, telling her to call him if she needs anything. Back home, Lu Yan can't stop thinking about Deng Man. Back in college, Cheng Yi was her boyfriend, and Deng Man and Tang Jia were her closest friends. One day, Deng Man confessed her feelings for Cheng Yi and begged Lu Yan to give her a chance. Lu Yan firmly refused. That same night, she heard that Deng Man took their own life. Lu Yan believed Deng Man's actions were fueled by resentment toward her and, burdened with guilt, ended her relationship with Cheng Yi. At the party, everyone wondered who had intentionally posted that photo. Cheng Yi called Wenxuan to ask for the shift manager's phone number at that time. He did not forget to tell Tang Jia to stay by Lu Yan's side more during this time. Later that night, Lu Yan receives a call from a colleague about an urgent case at the hospital. Rushing out, she accidentally bumps into someone on the street. To her shock, Deng Man glares at her with a pale face and declares that she will never forgive her. Before Lu Yan can respond, her phone rings again. Her colleague informs her that the emergency has been cancelled. When she looks up, Deng Man is walking away and vanishes into the distance. The sleepless night leaves Lu Yan drained the next day. At work, a colleague invites her to lunch, but Cheng Yi suddenly appears, wanting to discuss his father's condition. During their conversation, he inadvertently mentions Deng Man, triggering an emotional reaction from Lu Yan. She curtly dismisses him, saying she doesn't need his sympathy, and retreats to her office without another word. Yang's mother approaches Lu Yan, pleading for her help arranging her husband's surgery. She recounts how Yang's father had been injured during an arrest operation, which revealed an underlying medical condition. Just then, Cheng Yi came. He expresses support for moving forward with the surgery and encouraged her to focus on her well-being. Yang's mother also suggests adding Lu Yan on WeChat for better communication, which Lu Yan agrees. After work, Lu Yan deliberately cycles through the alley where she had previously encountered Deng Man, ringing her bike bell and humming nervously to boost her courage. Turning a corner, she trips over scattered electrical parts and falls. Suddenly, someone helps her up, and she is startled to see Cheng Yi replacing a broken streetlight. Moments later, a neighborhood volunteer arrives, thanking him for proactively assisting with the repair. It dawns on Lu Yan that he had arranged for the light to be fixed after noticing her injured arm. Cheng Yi tries to prolong the conversation by suggesting they buy fruits together for his father. Noticing that she still rides the bike he gifted her in college, he asks about it. Lu Yan replied that the bike was sturdy and that she had no reason to discard it. This nostalgic exchange warms his heart as he recalls their affectionate past. Before she left, he gave her an apple and silently watched her walk away. That night, Lu Yan is startled by her doorbell ringing. When she opens the door, no one is there. Returning to bed, she hears the bell again. Peering through the peephole, she sees a masked man standing silently outside. Panicked, she calls her building's property management. Security personnel searched the area but found nothing suspicious, speculating it might have been a drunken individual mistaking her door for their own. The next morning, she discovers her bike has been dismantled. She reports the vandalism to the police. Cheng Yi passed by and heard her tell the story. He volunteered to drive Lu Yan a ride to work and advised her to call him immediately if such an incident happened again. Cheng Yi and his mother accompany his father to the operating room at the hospital. The surgery proceeded smoothly, and soon, Dr. Han exited with a broad smile, reporting that the operation was a success. Cheng Yi looks at Lu Yan standing at the OR entrance, his eyes filled with gratitude. When Yang's father regains consciousness, Lu Yan explains post-surgery care instructions. She exits the room and finds Cheng Yi waiting for her with a cold drink from the nearby dispenser. After thanking her again, he reveals a heartfelt truth. He joined the police academy years ago to protect her. This reminded her of the promise he made that year. He swore always to protect her for life. Cheng Yi recalls his first encounter with Lu Yan. Back in college, while playing basketball in the gym, he noticed a clumsy girl jogging around the court. She stumbled awkwardly and fell, which amused him at the time. Later, on a busy street, he saw the same girl shouting to stop a thief. Though her slow pace made it impossible to catch him, Cheng Yi chased down and apprehended the thief. When they introduced themselves afterward, he realized they were schoolmates. And the girl was none other than Lu Yan. Inspired by Lu Yan's courage, he began training diligently on the school track, preparing for the police academy's entrance exam. He often saw Lu Yan studying on the sidelines, though she struggled with her memory and was known to fail courses frequently. Recounting these memories makes her a bit embarrassed, and she stops him from continuing. Returning to her apartment, they find Jingyu, a neighborhood police officer and Cheng Yi's college senior. Jingyu brought surveillance equipment that Cheng Yi requested to be set up at Lu Yan's door for added security. At the hospital, Huang Qian receives a delivery marked with her boyfriend's name. Through a reflection in the glass, she spots Xiao Wei hiding behind a pillar. She confronts him, frustrated that he stalks her instead of delivering the food himself. His controlling nature surfaces as he expresses distrust and suggests she quit her job. Enraging him further, Lu Yan intervenes, shoving him away and threatening to call security. Huang Qian feels torn. She wants to break up with him but fears he might harass her parents. Lu Yan advises her to consult a police officer. Wen Peng invites them to dinner, mentioning a surprise. During dinner at his private club, Wen Peng leaves Lu Yan and Huang Qian to order while he attends a meeting. As Lu Yan went to the bathroom, Yu Baifeng, a famous actor and Wen Peng's signed artist, approached Huang Qian and offered to join her for dinner. She is so starstruck that she barely manages a coherent response. Realizing this is Lu Yan's planned surprise, she is thrilled when he even cuts her steak. Overwhelmed, she steps outside to calm down. Moments later, Lu Yan hears Huang Qian screaming for help. She rushes out to find Xiao Wei assaulting Huang Qian. Lu Yan yells at Bai Feng to call the police and attempts to separate them, but Xiao Wei grabs her by the throat. Despite his girlfriend's begging for mercy, he was crazy and refused to accept the truth. Wen Peng appears from behind and disarms him. The police arrive promptly and arrest Xiao Wei. Lu Yan bandages Wen Peng's injured hand before taking Huang Qian home. The next morning, Wen Peng brings coffee to all the doctors and invites Lu Yan to the cafeteria for lunch. Cheng Yi saw them chatting intimately and couldn't help but feel jealous. Back in the hospital room, he secretly uses his mother's phone to text Lu Yan, asking her to come by. When she arrives, his mother immediately senses her son's intentions. After Lu Yan checks Yang's father and finds no major issues besides slightly elevated blood pressure, his mother inquires about Lu Yan's previous evening, hinting that she should consider dating someone reliable, preferably someone in a stable government position, clearly referring to her son. That night, Cheng Yi held old souvenirs. and the memories flooded back. His reverie is interrupted by a call from director Huo, reminding him that he has only 1 day left of his vacation. The next day, Cheng Yi invited Lu Yan to dinner to express his gratitude for her help during the past time. Their conversation is interrupted by an emergency call, and Lu Yan rushes to assist in the ER. Back in his father's hospital room, he learns from his mother that Ding Jing is coming to visit. Despite his reluctance, Zhang goes to meet her at the elevator. Meanwhile, Lu Yan finishes her duties and remembers Cheng Yi's dinner invitation. She stops by the room to check if he's still around, but his mother enthusiastically introduces her to Ding Jing. She recognizes them as a former at school, so Lu Yan and her son must also have been classmates. Ding Jing quickly claims she and Cheng Yi have known each other since middle school, emphasizing their childhood sweetheart relationship. Lu Yan ignored and asked briefly about Yang's father's condition before excusing herself. Ding Jing persuades Cheng Yi to accompany her for dinner, which his father supports, though his mother is visibly unimpressed. Once outside the room, he bluntly tells Ding Jing to stop wasting her time on him and suggests postponing dinner indefinitely before walking away without waiting for her response. Back at her office, Lu Yan finds a note Cheng Yi left, reiterating his dinner invitation. Wen Peng calls to invite her to dinner, but she declines, explaining she has other plans. However, he saw Lu Yan getting into Cheng Yi's car, which dampened his mood. The two head back to their old university, reminiscing as they spot a young couple jogging on the track. The scene triggers memories of their own romance. Later, they visit a street food stall near campus and share a bowl of spicy hot pot. He remembers Lu Yan's preference for wide noodles and gives her his share. Afterward, they stop at the campus gate, where he recalls Lu Yan confessing her feelings to him during their school days. Back then, he hesitated to reciprocate because he was focused on preparing for the police academy and feared a long-distance relationship. Lu Yan had reassured him, believing that true love could transcend time. Breaking out of his reverie, Cheng Yi finally musters the courage to ask Lu Yan why she initiated their breakup years ago. She avoids answering, and he doesn't press her. Instead, he shares that his leave is over and he's returning to work the next day. The following morning, Cheng Yi heads to the airport. He kept checking his phone and hoping she would come to see him off. She hesitated and finally decided to take a taxi to the airport after Cheng Yi's flight had departed. Feeling disappointed, she suddenly hears someone calling her name. Turning around, she sees Cheng Yi standing behind her. He explains that he had stayed behind because he didn't want to repeat the regret of losing his chance with her 8 years ago. He then reveals that he has been reassigned to Ninghai, bringing them closer geographically. Lu Yan agrees to exchange contact information formally, signaling a fresh start for their relationship. On her way home in the evening, Lu Yan was followed by a strange man again. Sensing someone behind her, she quickened her pace and ran to a nearby fruit stand she frequented, shouting that she was being followed. The fruit stand owner grabbed a chair and ran out but saw nothing unusual. Lu Yan had no choice but to thank the owner and head home alone. The strange man hid behind a large tree and observed everything. After walking a distance, she bumped into Wang Qian. She thanked Lu Yan for letting her stay at the rental apartment and prepared a delicious meal. Wang Qian mentioned that she had checked out an apartment Wen Peng had helped her find and planned to move in a few days. Bringing up him, she couldn't help but ask Lu Yan if she had feelings for him. Lu Yan didn't deny it and candidly stated that Cheng Yi was her ex-boyfriend and seeing him again brought back memories of the past. Wang Qian then asked why they broke up, but she avoided answering. She reminded Lu Yan that if she had wounds in her heart, she should confront them to heal completely. Avoiding the issue would only make her weaker over time. The next day, Lu Yan inquired about Xiao Hui's situation. She explained that he had been detained. She expressed relief that she recognized Xiao Hui's true nature early on and avoided further trouble. Later, Cheng Yi stopped by the hospital and brought them a takeout. Seizing the opportunity, Wang Qian suggested hosting a dinner to thank everyone who had helped her during her move and invited Cheng Yi to join Lu Yan at the gathering. At the entrance, he ran into Lu Yan, and they walked in together. Wen Peng returned with drinks and followed them inside. During the meal, head nurse Chao continued to probe into Cheng Yi and Lu Yan's relationship. Drunk, Wen Zan revealed that the two had dated during university. Tang Jia quickly tried to change the subject, but the atmosphere became awkward. Wang Qian broke the tension by raising her glass to propose a toast. Expressing gratitude to everyone and lightening the mood, Wang Qian mentioned how Wen Peng had helped her and Lu Yan out of a tricky situation. This was the first time Cheng Yi had heard of it, so he asked Lu Yan for the details. During the meal, Both Wen Peng and Cheng Yi vied to serve food to Lu Yan, neither willing to back down. On the way home, Tang Jia suddenly brought up Deng Man, saying her suicide had caused pain to many people. Tang Jia herself had fled abroad for a few years, and Lu Yan also went through a period of depression. Awarding the trio's close relationship, Wen Peng could only offer a few comforting words. Cheng Yi asked about her relationship with Wang Qian. She recounted how they became close. As they talked, Lu Yan saw a woman who looked exactly like Deng Man pass by. She immediately asked Cheng Yi to stop the car and searched where she thought she saw Deng Man, but there was no sign of her. Cheng Yi got out of the car and suggested she might have been mistaken. Lu Yan insisted she couldn't be wrong because she had already run into Deng Man once in an alley a couple of weeks ago. At the time, she thought it was just her imagination. But this time she was certain. She also revealed that she had been followed several times recently. Cheng Yi quickly took her phone, set his number as her emergency contact, and told her to call him immediately if she was followed again. Tang Jia wanted to help Lu Yan sort out her feelings, so the couple invited Lu Yan to lunch. Tang Jia asked about Lu Yan's feelings toward the two men, but she dodged the question. Wen Zan mentioned that before Cheng Yi returned to Ninghai, he had visited Jingyu a few times, looking lost and preoccupied, clearly unable to forget her. After reuniting with her in Ninghai, Cheng Yi's entire demeanor changed. Noticing Lu Yan still had feelings for Cheng Yi, Wen Zan secretly arranged for Cheng Yi to run into Lu Yan while jogging at Seaside Park every morning. Cheng Yi imagined Lu Yan running over and actively putting on headphones to listen to music together. While he was having fun imagining, she ran over, wanting to jog with her while listening to music. Lu Yan handed him both her earbuds. Cheng Yi ended up listening to a podcast about animal heart transplants all morning. Both wanted to ask the other out for dinner but kept rewriting their messages. Finally, they simultaneously sent each other invitations for a weekend dinner date. Cheng Yi even called to confirm, and both were thrilled after hanging up. When the weekend arrived, Lu Yan tried on all her outfits. She couldn't hide her excitement. Just as she decided on her clothes, Dr. Huang called her to assist with an emergency. Lu Yan had no choice but to head to the hospital, calling Cheng Yi halfway to explain. Cheng Yi still insisted on waiting for her until she finished her work. Before Lu Yan could finish at the hospital, Jingyu called him, saying they were about to raid a hideout they had been monitoring for a long time. Cheng Yi had to rush to the precinct, leaving a message for Lu Yan that they could eat together after both finished their tasks. Both are focused on their tasks. After the surgery, Lu Yan went to the designated restaurant and waited for Cheng Yi. Her phone battery eventually died, and by the time the restaurant closed, she moved to the entrance to wait. Having finished his work, he hurried to the restaurant, calling Lu Yan repeatedly but getting no response. Upon arrival, he found the restaurant closed and was feeling disappointed. Lu Yan suddenly appeared behind him, calling his name. Surprised and relieved, the two went to a roadside stall for a barbecue instead. The next day, Cheng Yi obtained a permit to investigate the area near Lu Yan's residence. Reviewing surveillance footage, he found a woman strikingly similar to Deng Man. Cheng Yi called her and confirmed that she met Deng Man that day, which made her shiver as she happened to pass through that alley. While they were on the phone, the man suddenly pushed Lu Yan from behind. Cheng Yi heard the sound of Lu Yan's phone hitting the ground and guessed she was being followed again. He immediately rushed to the area near her home. After being pushed down by the stalker, Lu Yan seized an opportunity to get up and run. Hiding behind a shelf and staying silent, Cheng Yi found Lu Yan's fallen bicycle and phone and continued searching nearby. The stalker discovered Lu Yan's hiding spot and used chloroform to knock her unconscious. He then dragged her into a corner, zipped her shirt and took a photo before preparing to leave. At that moment, Cheng Yi found them and forcefully shoved the man away. A fight broke out between the two. The stalker pulled down a support beam, causing plastic pipes to fall from above. He shielded Lu Yan with his body and the stalker to escape. He immediately took her to the hospital. Wen Peng happened to be there looking for Lu Yan and, seeing her unconscious, stayed by her bedside with Cheng Yi. After examination, the doctor confirmed that Lu Yan had no serious injuries, and she woke up a short while later. Cheng Yi and Wen Peng escorted Lu Yan home. While she rested in her bedroom, the two stayed in the living room, unwilling to leave first. Lu Yan told them Tang Jia would be arriving soon and suggested they leave so she could rest. On their way out, they ran into Tang Jia at the building entrance. Cheng Yi gave her some instructions before watching her go upstairs. The next morning, Lu Yan had fully recovered and was up earlier than Tang Jia. Seeing her in good spirits, Tang Jia felt reassured. She told Tang Jia to rest a bit more while she left for work. At the neighborhood gate, Lu Yan spotted Cheng Yi's car. Approaching, she saw him sleeping inside and realized he had stayed outside her building all night. Touched, she asked him about it. He was embarrassed and made an excuse about being on duty nearby. Jingyu called Cheng Yi, informing him they had identified the stalker as Wang Chang, a non-local with a criminal record for theft. Wang Chang had also been involved in selling private photos of women online. However, they couldn't locate his current residence, as he hadn't paid rent on his last apartment for 6 months. Cheng Yi suggested focusing on internet cafes and budget motels where Wang Chang might be staying. Cheng Yi drove to the hospital and waited outside, worried Lu Yan might be busy. When she went to the lobby for water, Lu Yan greeted him. He brought her a cake, and since he hadn't eaten yet, the two shared it together, enjoying a warm moment reminiscent of a couple in love. Qin Yu called again, reporting that they had found Wang Chang's residence. Cheng Yi hurriedly left, asking Lu Yan to return to the hospital. In the underground parking lot of an internet cafe, Wang Chang was meeting with Ding Jing, who tossed him $5,000 in cash. Wang Chang complained it wasn't enough. Ding Jing promised more once Lu Yan's reputation was ruined. In a nearby corner, a woman resembling Deng Man secretly photographed their transaction. Cheng Yi soon spotted Wang Chang heading back toward the internet cafe, calling out his name. Wang Chang bolted, and the woman stopped following him, disappearing through the back exit that led to a busy street. Cheng Yi and Qin Yu returned to the internet cafe to investigate Wang Chang's details. Meanwhile, he checked into a new budget motel. He received a friend request from a woman with an alluring profile picture. After accepting, the woman asked to meet in person, and Wang Chang eagerly agreed. A few days later, at a bar, the woman showed up in a short, sexy dress. Wang Chang couldn't resist secretly photographing her from another table. The woman boldly approached him and suggested they eat together. She asked him to show her the photo he had just taken. She mentioned his name, making him realize he had been tricked. As he ran away in a hurry, Cheng Yi and his team suddenly appeared, quickly subduing him. After Wang Chang was taken away, Cheng Yi thanked the woman, who was Professor Yu Zheng from the police academy. She had agreed to help lure Wang Chang at his request. In the interrogation room, Wang Chang initially denied the charges. However, Cheng Yi showed proof of his purchase of chloroform and the women's photos saved on his computer. Wang Chang finally admitted to profiting from selling private photos of women. However, regarding his repeated stalking of Lu Yan, Cheng Yi suspected he was under someone's orders. Wang Chang denied this, claiming he had merely taken an interest in Lu Yan's appearance and intended to sell her photos online. Meanwhile, Wen Peng visited the hospital and gave Lu Yan and Wang Qian 2 tickets to a movie premiere. During lunch, Wang Qian learned that her idol Bai Feng would not be attending, and her interest waned. She suggested giving her ticket to Cheng Yi. Lu Yan hesitated but was encouraged by Wang Qian, who urged her to be braver in expressing her feelings. She reminded Lu Yan that doctors and police officers both have high-risk jobs and waiting too long out of shyness might lead to lifelong regret. That evening, she called Cheng Yi to ask him out to the movie. Too shy to be direct, she first inquired about the stalker case before confirming the invitation. He happily agreed. The next day, Wang Qian helped Lu Yan with light makeup. Before leaving, she suggested Lu Yan stop by the mall to buy a new dress. At the mall, Cheng Yi spotted Lu Yan as soon as she entered. As she headed downstairs to shop, he followed her, while Lu Yan talked with a sales assistant. Cheng Yi discreetly paid for the dress. When the two appeared together at the ticket checkpoint, Wen Peng was visibly surprised. During the movie, Lu Yan rested her hand on the shared armrest between their seats. Noticing this, Cheng Yi placed his hand near hers, gradually inching closer until their hands met and intertwined. As the movie played, Wen Peng reflected on the days he first met Lu Yan. At that time, his parents were going through a divorce, and his father often took out his anger on him, driving Wen Peng to the brink of despair. One rainy day, as he contemplated jumping into a river, Lu Yan appeared behind him, holding an umbrella over him and sharing stories of how junior students admired him. Her words gave Wen Peng the strength to keep going. Later, during a long-distance running test, he cheered her on as she struggled to finish, and they had always encouraged each other through tough times. After the premiere, Wen Peng gave an interview, sharing that the film paid homage to his university days and the innocence of first love. Many viewers were moved by his story of unwavering devotion. Cheng Yi offered to take Lu Yan home. At her apartment complex, he made an excuse about checking the surveillance system and followed her upstairs. Once inside her apartment, he confessed that he had never truly let go of Lu Yan over the past 8 years. He admitted that his anger over not seeing her one last time after graduation kept him from returning to Ninghai. Lu Yan revealed that she had always loved him as well. Their confession led to a sweet kiss, marking the rekindling of their relationship. At this time, a strange girl pushed Wang Qian into the lake and did not forget to text Lu Yan to come and rescue her friend. The body was discovered at night by a cleaner passing by the lake. As Cheng Yi and Lu Yan were kissing, his phone suddenly rang. Jingyu reported about a body found in an artificial lake, preliminarily identified as Wang Qian. Overhearing parts of the conversation, Cheng Yi comforted her, urging her not to worry prematurely, and left to investigate the scene. The next morning, the coroner confirmed that Wang Qian had passed away from drowning. Her phone was later located in the lake. Aside from a few shoe prints, the scene lacked additional evidence. Cheng Yi urged his team to make the most of the critical 72 hours window to gather clues. Cheng Yi and Jingyu arrived at the hospital to take statements. Apart from head nurse Chao, who had taken the same bus as Wang Qian after work, no one else had any interaction with her that night. Despite her distress, Lu Yan agreed to be questioned. She admitted to missing 2 calls from Wang Qian because her phone was on silent mode during the movie. The last text she sent, pleading for help, was only seen after Cheng Yi received the call. Deeply regretful, Lu Yan lamented that if she had noticed earlier, the tragedy might have been avoided. At the police station, further autopsy results revealed that Wang Qian had been drugged. Cheng Yi divided the team, instructing them to investigate various angles while he retraced Wang Qian's last bus route. Surveillance footage provided limited evidence, complicating the investigation. Meanwhile, Lu Hao interrogated Xiao Wei, discovering he had transferred $1,000 to another man before Wang Qian's death. He admitted to buying a collectible dagger from the man but denied any involvement. Exhausted from work, Cheng Yi called head nurse Chao, asking her to look after Lu Yan. Since Lu Yan hadn't returned home, Nurse Chao stayed with her in the hospital's on-call room. The following day, Jingyu enlisted Professor Yu Zheng to analyze the case. They concluded that Xiao Wei was timid and cowardly, so he lacked the nerve to do. Analysis of Wang Qian's phone records revealed a call with Wen Peng on the night of her death. Cheng Yi and his team visited Wen Peng's company. Coincidentally, Yu Baifeng was also there. Professor Yu and Lu Hao interviewed him separately. When asked about Wang Qian, he claimed he didn't know her, explaining that with countless fans, he couldn't remember individual names. He attended a company celebration on the night in question, corroborated by his assistant and boss. Meanwhile, Cheng Yi and Qin Yu questioned Wen Peng. He admitted to having a casual relationship with Wang Qian, recalling that she had once helped him find a rental apartment through Lu Yan. On the night of her death, Wen Peng also claimed to have been at the company celebration. After leaving the company, Cheng Yi called Lu Yan, informing her that Wang Qian's body would be transported to the funeral home. He suggested she visit if she wanted to say a final goodbye. At the funeral home, memories of 8 years ago resurfaced, overwhelming Lu Yan. Unable to endure the sight, she collapsed in the hallway, sobbing uncontrollably as she relived her cherished moments with Wang Qian. As they left the funeral home, Lu Yan told Cheng Yi to stay away from her, explaining that seeing him only reignited her guilt over Wang Qia's death. She ran off, leaving Cheng Yi standing alone with sadness. Qin Yu and Lu Hao meticulously investigated every vehicle that passed through the alley that day but found nothing suspicious. Reviewing the surveillance footage, Cheng Yi noticed a cleaner pushing a trash bin through the area. Given Wang Qian's petite stature, it was plausible she had been placed in the bin. Cheng Yi decided to track down the cleaner who appeared on the footage that night. Soon, he located the cleaner and questioned him. The cleaner confirmed that one of his trash bins had gone missing that night. Since it wasn't valuable, he hadn't reported it. This confirmed that the trash bin thief was likely the suspect. The next day, Tang Jia called Cheng Yi, telling him that Lu Yan felt guilty about both Deng Man and Wang Qian's deaths, believing they were connected to her. He realized that both Deng Man and Wang Qian fell into this lake. This indicated that the killer had a personal connection to the area. Given that both victims were closely connected to Lu Yan, it became evident that the killer was targeting her. Another night passed, and Lu Yan woke early the next morning. Feeling as if she had undergone a spiritual rebirth, she decided that everything would be fine. Tang Jia woke up to see Lu Yan's new outlook and was delighted. Later, Nurse Chow found Lu Yan relaxing at a seaside park. She shared that before Wang Qian had officially joined the anesthesiology department, the operating room staff had wanted to recruit her. However, she had always looked up to Lu Yan as her role model and insisted on staying in the anesthesiology department. She added that if Wang Qian were alive, she wouldn't want to see Lu Yan remain so despondent. Buoyed by these words, Lu Yan finally regained her spirit. Returning home, she found a warm note left at her door along with a goldfish gift. Touched, she brought them inside. Unbeknownst to her, Jingyu had arranged for Zhang Wenxuan and another friend to set up a room next to hers for himself. His plan was to become her neighbor. Oblivious to her new neighbor's true identity, Lu Yan wrote her own kind note in return and left it at their door the next day. Jingyu visited Mr. Yang, the retired officer who had handled Deng Man's case. To learn more, he explained that Deng Man had left a suicide note, confirmed to be in her handwriting. She had experienced extreme emotional distress and the case had been closed as a suicide. However, 5 years later, the police received an anonymous letter claiming Deng Man was wronged and urging a reinvestigation. Attempts to contact the letter writer failed, as the address provided was fake. To gather more information about Deng Man's life, Jingyu visited Tang Jia. Although Tang Jia had been close to Deng Man, she hadn't noticed her being involved with anyone romantically and had never seen her suicide note. Wen Zan eagerly offered a clue. A classmate, Wu Chang, had a crush on Deng Man and had asked him to get her contact information. He found Deng Man at the library, where she appeared to be waiting for someone. When he explained his purpose, Deng Man replied that she wasn't interested in relationships. He also mentioned noticing Deng Man watching Jingyu play basketball several times, suggesting she might have had feelings for him. Jingyu decided to investigate Deng Man's borrowing records at Ninghai University and asked Director Wu to notify the school in advance. Lu Yan also went to the university to make a request, but the librarian refused to disclose private information. At that moment, Jingyu arrived and invited her to join him in reviewing the records. They discovered that Deng Man had repeatedly borrowed the same book in a single year. As Deng Man's roommate, she had never heard her mention it. Jingyu speculated that the book must have held special significance for Deng Man and encouraged Lu Yan to let go of her guilt. Jingyu received a call about a new lead and returned to the police station. Qin Yu had questioned a shopkeeper who sold ether. The shopkeeper remembered the customer distinctly because most buyers were men. But this time it was a woman. When Qin Yu showed a photo resembling Deng Man, the shopkeeper confirmed it was the same person. Meanwhile, Lu Yan wandered around the university and saw Coach Zhou teaching a physical education class. Remembering that Deng Man had taken elective volleyball classes with him, she asked the coach for information. At his house, Coach Zhou explained that his wife had been bedridden following a car accident while buying him medicine. After giving his wife her medication, he recalled seeing Deng Man and Jingyu talking once. Although he couldn't hear their conversation, he remembered Deng Man was deeply upset after Jingyu left. After Lu Yan left, Coach Zhou texted a contact, reporting that he had said everything as instructed. Lu Yan then walked to the campus sports field and encountered Wen Peng. He offered to take her out for a meal but noticed she wasn't in the mood and instead volunteered to escort her home. He revealed that he had learned about Lu Yan's recent struggles from Tang Jia. He advised her to let go of the past, overcome her guilt, and embrace a new chapter in life. Jingyu took the book Hiroshima Mon Amour, which Deng Man had borrowed multiple times, to consult Yu Zheng at the school. She explained that the book describes a tragic and forbidden love affair, suggesting that Deng Man may have experienced something similar, falling for someone she shouldn't have. Lu Yan carefully reflected on people linked to Deng Man who might have sent the anonymous letter. She discovered a small, linked account where Deng Man wrote about enduring bullying, cleaning others' volleyball shoes, and being unable to attend volleyball classes. Lu Yan suddenly recalled an instance when she saw Deng Man washing Deng Jing's basketball uniform. When Lu Yan asked if she was being bullied, Deng Man hastily denied it. Deng Jing, waking up at noon, complained to her mother for nagging her. She asked her mom to ensure she looked good for an upcoming dinner with Jingyu's parents. While opening a package, she was horrified to find a hairpin that Deng Man had worn before her death and hastily threw it. At the mall, Deng Jing found a photo of Deng Man tucked into her car door. The back of the photo had a note accusing her of wronging Deng Man, leaving Deng Jing visibly scared. She recalled incidents from her university days and sought out Lu Yu to discuss the threats. She asked to contact Wang Cheng to prepare self-defense tools for her. Sitting nearby, Lu Yan overheard their conversation. When Ding Jing went to the restroom, Lu Yan followed and placed Ding Man's hairpin on the sink. Seeing the hairpin, Ding Jing assumed Lu Yu was playing a prank on her. Furious, she stormed out of the restroom and lashed out at her in the restaurant. Ding Jing demanded the restaurant's surveillance footage but left angrily when her request was denied. Back in her car, she made a phone call, threatening to expose past events if she continued to be followed, and demanded an immediate investigation into who was behind the threats. Lu Yan returned home, changed out of her black clothes, and casually placed Ding Man's hairpin on her dressing table. When Jingyu returned to his apartment next door, he noticed Lu Yan hanging laundry on her balcony, appearing normal. The next day, Lu Yan resumed work at the hospital. Her first surgery went smoothly, and she seemed to be back to her old self. After work, she encountered Wen Peng at the hospital entrance. He revealed that he had invested in a medical drama where the lead character is an anesthesiologist and asked Lu Yan to help refine the script. She agreed but declined his offer to drive her home. That evening, Ding Jing hosted a dinner for her business partners and gifted each a piece of collectible porcelain from her company. However, each box contained a note demanding she confess to harming Ding Man. Enraged, Ding Jing stormed out of the private room and found yet another note waiting for her. After Ding Jing and Lu Yu left the restaurant, Lu Yan discreetly followed and headed home. In the elevator back at their apartment complex, Jingyu noticed Lu Yan in black clothing and found her behavior odd. The next morning, he followed Lu Yan as she left home and saw Wen Peng waiting outside the complex with breakfast. He invited her to help his company's scriptwriters after work. She arrived on time at his office to review the script. Jingyu messaged her asking to meet, but she didn't respond. On her way home, she hesitated over whether to reply to Jingyu's messages. She was unsure of how to express her feelings. Wen Xuan and Tang Jia brought some household supplies to Jingyu's apartment. As they unloaded, Lu Yan returned home from work and spotted them at the building entrance. Jingyu hurriedly carried the supplies inside to avoid a potentially awkward encounter. When Lu Yan questioned why they hadn't informed her beforehand, Tang Jia made an excuse. Holding an electric hot pot, Wen Xuan suggested they all eat hot pot together at Lu Yan's place. During dinner, Wen Xuan intentionally stood by the window and gestured playfully toward Jingyu's apartment. While eating, he opened the window and asked about her feelings for Jingyu. She admitted that she didn't blame him for Wang Qian's death but needed time to come to terms with everything. Wen Xuan loudly relayed her words through the window, which Lu Yan found strange. On the other side, Jingyu couldn't help but smile upon overhearing the conversation. Meanwhile, the police tracked down frequent contacts of Wang Cheng and discovered Lu Yu was among them. Jingyu was shocked by her involvement and instructed Qin Yu to monitor her and arrange a meeting under the guise of Wang Cheng. Ding Jing called Jingyu, asking him to pick her up the next day for a family dinner. After Ding Jing left, Lu Yu received a message arranging a meeting with Wang Cheng. She arrived at the arranged meeting place only to see Jingyu and his team approach. Initially, Lu Yu denied knowing Wang Cheng, but when Qin Yu revealed that Wang Cheng had already been arrested, she changed her story, claiming they were middle school classmates. Jingyu warned her about the consequences of aiding a criminal. Pressured, she confessed that Ding Jing had hired someone to take photos of Lu Yan but insisted she wasn't involved in anything else. She was subsequently taken to the police station for further questioning. Jingyu suddenly remembered the invitation to have dinner with Ding Jing's family. At the family dinner, Ding Jing's mother raised the topic of marriage, hinting at pairing Jingyu and Ding Jing. She presented porcelain exhibition invitations to everyone, insisting they attend. After dinner, Jingyu stayed behind to talk with Ding Jing. Mistaking his actions for romantic interest, Ding Jing was overjoyed. Her excitement turned to anxiety when he revealed that he and Lu Yan had recently seen Ding Man. Returning the invitation card, he firmly rejected her advances, explaining that he didn't want to waste her time. In the underground parking lot, Ding Jing encountered Lu Yan, who confronted her about Ding Man's death. Ding Jing denied involvement, instead insinuating that Lu Yan was cursed, claiming every close friend seemed doomed to tragedy. Shaken, Lu Yan became even more convinced that secrets surrounded Ding Man's death. Determined to uncover the truth, she decided to attend Wen Peng's porcelain exhibition after all. Ding Jing met with Lu Yu to discuss acquiring self-defense equipment via Wang Cheng. She claimed that Wang Cheng needed more time due to increased scrutiny. Growing impatient, she ordered Lu Yu to find a way to ruin Lu Yan's reputation. Lu Yu subtly advised against targeting Lu Yan, but Ding Jing lashed out and humiliated her by demanding she shine her shoes. At the police station, Yu Zheng joined Cheng Yi in analyzing the cases. He suspected that the motives behind Deng Man's and Wang Qian's deaths were different, indicating separate perpetrators. Ding Jing had the resources to hire a professional killer if she wanted Lu Yan harmed. This suggested another mastermind may be manipulating events in coordination with Ding Jing. At the porcelain exhibition, Tang Jia attended the spokesperson signing ceremony. Upon seeing Tang Jia, she mocked her for being Lu Yan's third wheel. Tang Jia retorted, calling her a bootlicker. After Ding Jing left for the main stage, Tang Jia signaled Yuan Da to tamper with surveillance data. During the ceremony, a promotional video was supposed to play, but instead, a clip of Ding Jing bullying Lu Yu was shown. Despite Ding Jing's attempts to stop it, the screen displayed an audio recording of her cursing Lu Yan in a parking garage. The audience erupted in shock, questioning Ding Jing's character. Lu Yan emerged from the monitoring room, demanding that Ding Jing confess her role in Deng Man's death. Ding Jing attempted to push Lu Yan, but Lu countered and shoved her back. Before Ding Jing could react, Tang Jia slapped her, venting their shared anger toward Deng Man. Yu Baifeng immediately announced the termination of his contract, citing Ding Jing's breach. Relieved after confronting Ding Jing, Lu Yan and Tang Jia left the exhibition feeling vindicated. However, they began to speculate why Deng Man, despite her timid nature, would have knelt to Ding Jing. Back home, Ding Jing was furious and packed her belongings to move out. Her father scolded her for her erratic behavior and the scandal that caused multiple business partners to sever ties. Ding Jing fired back, accusing him of always prioritizing work over her. Driving away, Ding Jing was angry at the humiliation inflicted by Lu Yan and Tang Jia. An unknown man called, reminding her of their shared culpability in past events. She coldly warned him that he wouldn't escape unscathed if anything happened to her. Hanging up, she vowed to destroy Lu Yan. The next day, Lu Yu handed over her recordings of Ding Jing to the police, urging Cheng Yi to protect Lu Yan. She warned that Ding Jing wouldn't let things go easily. Lu Yan decided to visit Deng Man's grave alone, taking the subway to the outskirts. Cheng Yi tried calling her but couldn't get through, so he contacted Tang Jia, got the route details, and rushed to the subway station. Lu Yan was followed by Ding Jing, who in turn, was being trailed by another woman. As the subway approached, Ding Jing stealthily moved behind Lu Yan. Just as Cheng Yi reached the platform and called out to Lu Yan, Ding Jing suddenly pushed her onto the tracks. He immediately jumped down and pulled Lu back to safety. After Cheng Yi rescued Lu Yan and carried her to safety, Lu Yan identified Ding Jing as the one who had pushed her, and she sprained her ankle. He gently carried her out of the subway station. Meanwhile, Ding Jing fled the station in disarray. The strange woman stopped her. Cheng Yi brought Lu Yan home, carefully applied a heat pack to her swollen ankle, and confessed his fear of Ding Jing's potential for further violence. He offered to sleep outside her door to ensure her safety, but Lu Yan revealed she had already discovered his secret residence next door. She then thanked him for saving her life. That evening, Cheng Yi stayed in Lu Yan's apartment, sleeping on the floor of her room. They reminisced about university days when he had taught Lu Yan self-defense techniques after she once felt followed. The memory of their carefree laughter brought a rare lightness to their current situation. The next morning, he prepared breakfast for Lu Yan and revealed the large scrape on his arm resulting from the rescue from the previous day. Touched, Lu Yan treated his wound with a warm boiled egg. He promised to drive her to and from work until the danger passed. Back at the precinct, Cheng Yi reviewed surveillance footage of Ding Jing near the subway station. She had entered a narrow alley, stayed for 10 minutes, then exited through another route and taken a rideshare to Jifu village. Her calls to Lu Yu and Yu Baifeng piqued his interest during this time. He enlisted Yu Zheng's help to get closer to Yu Baifeng under the pretense of providing him with expert guidance. She reluctantly agreed but challenged Baifeng to arrive at Ninghai University within 20 minutes. Determined, he abandoned a recording session, borrowed a shared bike, and pedaled furiously to the university. Impressed by Baifeng's effort, Yu Zheng set him to write an essay based on the provided study materials. He diligently completed it overnight in the office, surprising Yu Zheng again and allowing himself to attend her classes. In the evening, Cheng Yi picked Lu Yan up from work and prepared dinner, her favorite spicy hot pot. After learning the recipe from a food stall owner, they shared a cozy meal before he cheekily asked to use her washing machine. Bringing over a bundle of clothes, including some with price tags still attached, he used the chore as an excuse to spend more time with her. As they worked, he asked for her Wi-Fi password, To which Lu Yan absent-mindedly shared the date of their official relationship. Embarrassed, she quickly explained that she always used the same password for everything. Meanwhile, Jingyu tracked Ding Jing to a Jifu village guest house. Although she had paid for a room, she hadn't stayed there. At the hospital, Lu Yan comforted a child patient terrified of an upcoming surgery. She managed to coax him out of the bathroom, only for his father to violently discipline him in front of everyone. When Lu Yan tried to intervene, she was pushed aside. Witnessing the scene, Wenpeng snapped rush in to teach him a lesson for his abusive behavior. Wenpeng's uncharacteristic outburst took aback Lu Yan. After treating Wenpeng's wound, Lu Yan gently asked why he had reacted so violently. He revealed his troubled childhood, growing up with an abusive father who often beat him and his mother over trivial matters. After his mother remarried, he discovered she had a new son and didn't even recognize him during their brief encounter. The police mediated the hospital dispute, pointing out the legal consequences of domestic violence. Wenpeng offered to cover the child's medical expenses and post-surgery care but warned the father that any further abuse would not be tolerated. On the way home, Chengyi noticed Lu Yan was preoccupied and asked what was wrong. She recounted the incident at the hospital and expressed some sympathy for Wenpeng, which made Chengyi slightly jealous. When they reached the apartment, Lu Yan insisted on seeing his unit. It is sparsely furnished, with only a bed and a table and no hot water for showers. She dragged him to a mall to buy some furniture and essentials. Meanwhile, Yu Baifeng faced challenges in Yu Zheng's class. His fans disrupted the session by cheering outside the windows, forcing Yu Zheng to give him 5 minutes to handle the situation. Afterward, Yu Zheng criticized Baifeng's shallow analysis of a classroom experiment, suggesting he was unsuitable to play the villain. A dejected Baifeng thanked Yu Zheng for his guidance and left. Later, she informed Chengyi that Baifeng was likely uninvolved in Ding Jing's schemes. Jingyu compared footage from when Lu Yan was pushed onto the subway tracks and identified a black-clad woman following Ding Jing. The woman entered the same alley as Ding Jing before departing in a different direction. Her physique resembled that of the suspect in Wang Qian's. In an abandoned warehouse in Jifu village, Ding Jing was tied up by the black-clad woman. She guessed her captor was working for whoever had hurt Ding Man. She offered double payment for her release. The woman remained unmoved and knocked Ding Jing unconscious with ether. Wenpeng demonstrated his care for this child by covering all his medical expenses and promising to take him skating after surgery. His kindness touched Lu Yan, and Wenpeng was entrusted to her care on the surgery day, as he had to travel for work. Jingyu tracked the black-clad woman to a local convenience store, where the owner remembered her buying supplies and heading north toward an abandoned factory. Suspecting it to be a hideout, Jingyu investigated and found fresh tire marks. He immediately called Chengyi for backup. The woman in black realized that this place was no longer safe. She called someone and then dealt with Ding Jing on the spot. Lu Hao clashed with the woman but was unfortunately seriously injured by her and let her escape. He was quickly admitted to the Chengyi was heartbroken when he saw Ding Jing lying on the floor. He immediately ordered his teammates to call the forensic doctor quickly. After hearing Lu Hao's story, Lu Yan was shocked to learn that Ding Jing was not the culprit. Back at the police station, the chief was furious over the two recent and ordered the formation of a task force. Chengyi was put in charge and given 7 days to apprehend the culprit. Yu Zheng was assigned by the bureau to assist with the case analysis. The black-clad woman relocated her hiding spot and messaged a mysterious individual about recent developments. The mysterious person demanded that she find the item they were seeking immediately. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to see her mother again. Chengyi and Yu Zheng analyzed the motive. Ding Jing had been starved for several days, as though the suspect was trying to extract certain evidence. Unlike Wang Qian's meticulously cleaned site, Ding Jing's location had many unprocessed items. The suspect even poured water on the ground to confuse investigators. If this theory held, the suspect would likely resurface to continue searching for the desired item. While they were analyzing, a report came in about someone smashing the window of Ding Jing's parked car. The perpetrator fled after being discovered. Jingyu immediately went to the scene, and the security guard's description confirmed it was the woman in black. Yu Zheng made a new hypothesis. The suspect wasn't just targeting Lu Yan but also Chengyi. During the 8 years they were apart, both had been safe. Yet, danger emerged shortly after their reunion. That evening, he returned home and hugged Lu Yan tightly. He told her the whole story. Exhausted, he fell asleep on the couch without eating. The next day at work, Jingyu reviewed the packages Ding Jing had received. Among them were several butterfly hairpins that didn't match Ding Jing's usual style. Cheng Yi recalled seeing similar hairpins in Liu Yan's room but dismissed it as a coincidence. Soon after, they received information about Ding Jing's memorial service. Yu Zheng insisted on attending, explaining that funerals are good opportunities to investigate a person's social connections. Wen Peng also received an invitation but, due to a business trip, asked Bai Feng to represent him. Meanwhile, Li Ruonan returned to her hideout. She claimed she couldn't find what he asked for. He threatened that she would never see her mother again if she couldn't locate the item. On the day of the memorial service, Ruonan sneaks into Ding Jing's home. During the event, the mother suddenly fainted, prompting Cheng Yi and Liu Yan to take her home. While fetching water upstairs, he discovered the woman in black hiding in a room. Cheng Yi managed to dodge her knife and fight for a while. She then leapt from the balcony and fled. He called Jingyu to intercept her while she was on the way. The woman in black ran to the memorial service, where she took Bai Feng hostage while he was speaking with Yu Zheng. The police were forced to back off before she acted crazy. Yu Zheng volunteers to be a hostage and bargains with the woman in black to release him. She refused. Yu Zheng then suggested driving her out of the police's sight. As she got into the car, Yu Zheng quickly hit the accelerator, causing her to be thrown aside, where she was immediately apprehended. The police swiftly gathered information on Ruonan. Her father passed away when she was young, and she grew up with her mother. She trained in martial arts at a school but struggled to find stable work after graduation, becoming a drifter who occasionally handled special jobs. Ruonan denied any involvement in Huang Qian and Ding Jing's. However, when her mother was mentioned, her composure faltered slightly. After listening to Cheng Yi's advice, she promised to reveal the mastermind if he found her mother. Meanwhile, the rest of the team reviewed Ding Jing's home surveillance footage and her interactions in the days leading up to her death. Jingyu discovered footage of Liu Yan lingering outside Ding Jing's home for about 2 weeks. This suggested she might have been looking for something. Additional evidence revealed a confrontation between Liu Yan and Ding Jing during the signing event. Cheng Yi immediately sought out Liu Yan at the hospital. He patiently waited for Liu Yan to finish work and return to her apartment. He asked her if she was hiding anything from him. Initially, she denied it, but when he presented the mounting evidence pointing to her, she confessed. Liu Yan explained that she had been following Ding Jing because of what happened 8 years ago. At that time, Ding Man said she liked him and asked Liu Yan to break up. When Liu Yan refused, she took her own life the next day. Liu Yan blamed herself for years, believing her refusal caused Ding Man's impact. Even though she loved him, her guilt kept her from reconnecting. Recently, while revisiting Ding Man's old social media posts, Liu Yan discovered evidence that Ding Jing had threatened Ding Man before her death. Determined to uncover the truth and seek justice for Ding Man, she began shadowing Ding Jing. She even disrupted the signing event to expose Ding Jing's true nature. After hearing this, Cheng Yi deeply and tightly embraced Liu Yan. That night, they slept in the same bed. After 8 years of twists and turns, they were finally together again. As Liu Yan was lost in her memories, Tang Jia began knocking at the door. Cheng Yi was sleepy, answered them and opened the door, surprising the couple. Yu Zheng visits Bai Feng at the hospital on behalf of the task force. Leaving him touched, she offers to help him with his studies during his hospital stay. Meanwhile, Cheng Yi and Liu Yan openly embrace their rekindled romance, enjoying meals, games, and the bliss of being a couple. The task force concludes its investigation into Chengzhou and discovers that Li Ruonan's mother disappeared mysteriously. Given the remote location, local authorities are unaware of her disappearance. Cheng Yi deduces that Yan Mei must have been deliberately taken away and orders Jingyu to collaborate with local police to investigate thoroughly. That evening, Cheng Yi invites Liu Yan to visit his family over the weekend. She hesitates, thinking it's too soon and suggesting they've skipped a step, implying she wants a formal declaration of love. He improvises an awkward speech, but Liu Yan remains unimpressed. In response, he playfully carries her to bed, where they share a romantic night. On Wen Peng's father's birthday, he is the only family member present at the restaurant. His father accuses him of neglect and disrespect. Wen Peng retorts, pointing out his father's lack of meaningful relationships, warning that someday he too will leave. Back at the villa, Wen Peng receives a text from his mother asking when he plans to return home. Unbeknownst to her, he has already returned to the country but chooses not to respond. Cheng Yi brings Liu Yan to meet his parents. His father joins with him in the kitchen to prepare signature dishes. Meanwhile, his mother gives Liu Yan a study tour filled with childhood photos of Chengyi. She happily recounts stories from his youth, mentioning that he had one unforgettable love during university. Liu Yan shyly reveals she was his first love, making his mother even happier. At the dinner table, his mother reveals that Liu Yan was Chengyi's first love. His father is unsurprised, having noticed their affectionate glances during his hospital stay, but chose not to press for details. Bai Feng struggles with the study materials Yu Zheng provided, particularly a challenging logic question. Wen Peng effortlessly provides the correct answer, leaving him in awe of Wen Peng's analytical skills. The next day, Yu Zheng visits Bai Feng at the hospital again to check his progress on the assigned homework. With only a vocational school education, he struggles to understand much of the material and cleverly avoids correct answers, except for one analysis question. When questioned, he admits that Wen Peng had helped him with that single answer. Liu Yan takes Xiao Man to an ice skating rink. While enjoying themselves, Wen Peng shows up, saying he flew back to Ninghai specifically for this. The child is overjoyed, holding Liu Yan and Wen Peng's hands, creating a picture of happiness. After Xiao Man returns home, Wen Peng asks Liu Yan for dinner, but she mentions that Chengyi will pick her up. Wen Peng asked why she treats him as just a senior while being so natural with Chengyi, despite both men being only a year her senior. Unable to explain, Liu Yan states she has reconciled with Chengyi. After leaving the sports center, Wen Peng's expression was angry. He breaks a glass in his office. Yu Zheng then visits Wen Peng at work, mentioning that Bai Feng's celebrity status and flexible class schedule have caused complaints among other students. She suggests halting his classes. Although he has shown significant progress, even solving a particularly challenging logic question, Wen Peng quickly claims he provided the answer, having encountered the same question in a criminology course during college. Yu Zheng lets the topic drop without further probing. She asks Chengyi about Wen Peng, noting his meticulous and guarded demeanor. Chengyi shares that Wen Peng suffered abuse from his father growing up, possibly leaving deep psychological scars. He also suspects Wen Peng is connected to Deng Man, Wang Qian, and Ding Jing. She suggests using Bai Feng as a bridge to interact with Wen Peng. On the day of his discharge, Bai Feng disobeys orders to report back to the company and instead takes half a day off to meet Yu Zheng. He confesses his feelings for her. However, she calmly rejects him, stating they are fundamentally different people and could never work. Feeling like a child in Yu Zheng's presence, he still can't suppress his affection and invites him to dinner. During their meal, paparazzi secretly take photos of them. That evening, Wen Peng learned that the pictures had surfaced online and immediately mobilized the PR team, demanding they intercept and suppress all leaks. Bai Feng rushes back to the company to apologize. Surprisingly, Wen Peng doesn't scold him harshly but warns him to avoid further contact with Yu Zheng for the time being. He confiscates Bai Feng's phone and orders an assistant to monitor him closely. At work, Liu Yu met Liu Yan, who revealed she was moving to another city with her parents. Grateful that Liu Yan is saving her life, she shares a story about Deng Man from college. She recalls Ding Jing forcing Deng Man to attend Chengyi's basketball games to observe him frequently and then pressure Liu Yan to give him up. Ding Jing had compromising videos of Deng Man, leaving her with no choice but to obey. Liu Hao broadens his investigation into Ding Jing's call records before her death, uncovering frequent contact with coach Zhou Jicheng from Ninghai University. Liu Yan asks director Deng to investigate Zhou Jicheng's hospitalization records, uncovering that he uses expensive imported cancer drugs, costing a fortune annually. Cheng Yi confronts him about Ding Jing. He denies having been in recent contact with her, adding that they were never particularly close, even during college. When Cheng Yi asks if he remembers Deng Man confessing her feelings for him, Coach Zhou becomes visibly nervous. He presses further, revealing evidence of several calls between Zhou and Ding Jing before her death. At that moment, his wife activates the emergency bell in their bedroom, conveniently interrupting the conversation. The PR team approached Yu Zheng, asking him to record a video to clarify the situation with Bai Feng and allowing him to phrase it however he wished. She finds the request absurd. She has done nothing wrong, and it was Bai Feng who initiated the dinner. She confronts Wen Peng at the company, but he avoids engaging further. Yu Zheng remarks that Wen Peng's meticulous thinking, emotional control, and resilience align with the profile of a serial killer. Liu Yan discovers Jicheng's medical expenses amount to millions over the years, even though his family was known to struggle financially. Formerly, Lu Yan's classmates had once held a fundraiser for Coach Zhou. Cheng Yi also remembered his class was the same. That evening, Yu Zheng meets Cheng Yi and Lu Yan, piecing together the evidence. She notes inconsistencies between Deng Man's suicide note and previous deductions. He also uncovers that Coach Zhou has visited Deng Man's grave multiple times over 8 years, suggesting their relationship was more than just teacher-student. Lu Yan proposes to meet him again, and Cheng Yi insists on accompanying her. At home, Ji Cheng feeds his wife, but she refuses to eat. Frustrated, he smashes the bowl and storms out. Left alone, his wife recalls his affair with Deng Man, who he had justified by claiming male needs. Despite being celebrated as a moral model of Ninghai for staying with his ailing wife, she realizes it was all a facade to maintain a virtuous public image. When Cheng Yi and Lu Yan arrive, Coach Zhou's wife cries, as they help clean spilled food from her clothes. She subtly hints they check the bookshelf. Cheng Yi saw a book similar to the book that Deng Man had borrowed from the library many times. Coach Zhou unexpectedly returns home. He recounts a story from the past. Once, Deng Man fainted from low blood sugar during his class, and he took her to the infirmary. He left only after ensuring she regained consciousness. She was deeply grateful. During the winter break, while most students went home, Deng Man stayed on campus. He saw her by chance near the dance studio and learned her parents had passed away, leaving her with no family. He invited her to celebrate the new year with his family, giving her a taste of warmth and belonging. Over time, Deng Man, who lacked fatherly love, developed strong feelings for him. Aware of the inappropriate nature of her feelings, he rejected her. The following semester, he once saw Ding Jing and Lu Yu bullying her near the sports equipment room. After they left, he helped Deng Man clean up. Thinking that Coach Zhou was concerned about her, she hugged him. Faced with Deng Man's persistent affection, he could no longer resist and embraced her. Their relationship grew closer as they frequently visited the library together. A shared love for the book Hiroshima Mon Amour became a special bond between them. On her birthday, he invited her to meet by the river, bringing along a cake. Having spent over 20 years celebrating her birthdays alone, Deng Man was deeply moved by his gesture. Unable to resist, he gave Deng Man a sweet kiss. Ding Jing captured this moment. She then showed Deng Man the video. Fearing that it would ruin Coach Zhou's reputation, she reluctantly agreed to Ding Jing's demand to sabotage Lu Yan and Cheng Yi's relationship. Coach Zhou supported Deng Man's decision, suggesting they act for now to retrieve the video and explain later. However, when Deng Man tried to confront Cheng Yi after school, she froze and couldn't say anything. Watching from afar, he felt heartbroken but dared not intervene. After this incident, Deng Man expressed her unwillingness to continue with actions against her conscience. He opposed this, warning that if their relationship were exposed, he would be labeled a hypocrite, tarnishing her reputation. Seeing his distress, Deng Man assured him she planned to resolve everything. 2 days later, Coach Zhou waited for her at the library but received news that she passed away. It was only then he realized her drastic sacrifice to protect his reputation. His later recognition as a moral exemplar deepened his guilt, leaving him too afraid to reveal the truth. Hearing his account, Lu Yan harshly criticized him. He revealed that he had anonymously written to the police, insisting Deng Man did not commit suicide, as he believed she wouldn't willingly leave him. On the way home, Cheng Yi felt his confession sounded too rehearsed, like a fabricated story. Later, Coach Zhou secretly met with Wen Peng. He received much money from Wen Peng, thanking him for guiding his narrative to Cheng Yi. When they returned home, they were surprised to find the lights on. Lu Yan's mother emerged from the bathroom, asking if the two were living together. Lu Yan quickly explained they only occasionally had meals together. However, her mother had already spotted Cheng Yi's clothes in the washing machine. To avoid embarrassment, he took the initiative to go into the kitchen to cook so that the mother and daughter could talk to each other. He hurried back to the room with the pile of clothes in the washing machine. That night, after her mother fell asleep, Lu Yan sneaked onto the balcony to talk with him, only to be interrupted by her mother's deliberate coughs. Lu Yan hurriedly returned to her room. The following day, Lu Yan took her mother for a health checkup. The hospital staff, from Director Han to the nurses, spoke highly of Cheng Yi, putting her mother's concerns at ease. After work, Wen Peng waited for Lu Yan at the hospital entrance. She appeared with her mother and waved at him. But Cheng Yi arrived, and she got in with her mother, leaving Wen Peng feeling angry. The next morning, as Lu Yan's mother prepared to board her flight, She realized she had left her ID card at Lu Yan's home. She called Lu Yan, who tied up with a surgery, and asked Cheng Yi for help. He quickly arranged for a temporary ID at the airport and promised to send the original by mail. While waiting for her flight, Lu Yan's mother talked briefly with him, sharing her concerns. Meanwhile, Zhou Ji Cheng, now possessing a large sum of money, proposed to his wife that they travel the world together, a dream she once mentioned. Cheng Yi questioned Coach Zhou about the enormous annual payments he had mentioned. He suspected Ding Jing was behind Deng Man's death and believed the payments were hush money from her, deposited in a safe for Coach Zhou to retrieve. Surveillance footage revealed he hadn't accessed the funds, but Li Ruonan had visited the safe multiple times, hinting at a connection between Ding Jing and Ruonan. When interrogated with the evidence, she blamed everything on Ding Jing. She confessed that Ding Jing had hired her to kill Wang Qian and ruin Lu Yan's reputation. When Ding Jing refused to pay her afterward, she kidnapped Ding Jing in anger and accidentally kill her during the struggle. Her statements aligned with Coach Zhou's suspicions, leading Cheng Yi to suspect a hidden mastermind orchestrating events behind both of them. Lu Hao went to Coach Zhou's apartment to summon him for questioning, but he was already attempting to flee with his wife in the car. As he suddenly ran a red light, Lu Hao crashed into a truck at an intersection. Believing he had escaped, Coach Zhou was shocked to find Cheng Yi blocking his path further down the road. Arrested and brought to the precinct, he claimed he was only taking his wife to a medical checkup but refused to answer further questions. Meanwhile, Yu Zheng spent several days at the precinct watching dramas produced by Wen Peng's company and researching Runying Company online. While reviewing some behind-the-scenes footage, she noticed Li Ruonan on set and immediately called Cheng Yi. Although Ruonan appeared in the film's behind-the-scenes content, her name was missing from the cast list. Qin Yu tracked down Lu Lin, the film's martial arts director, and showed him a photo of Ruonan. He vaguely remembered her, noting that she used a fake name, kept to herself on set, and seemed very concerned about money. When the film wrapped, she even had a dispute with the assistant director over payment, which Wen Peng eventually resolved. This revelation tied Wen Peng to everyone involved, yet he always had an alibi and never directly acted himself. Cheng Yi speculated that Ruonan might be Wen Peng's hands. He likely manipulated her mother to ensure her loyalty. Cheng Yi assigned Yu Zheng and Lu Hao to travel to Chengzhou to investigate Ruonan's background and her mother's whereabouts. Qin Yu was tasked with thoroughly examining Wen Peng's household registration. He quickly retrieved Wen Peng's household records and presented them to Cheng Yi. Seeing Wen Peng's mother's name, he was shocked. Cross-checking the ID number confirmed that she was his own mother. He hurried home to confront her. Her mother admitted she hadn't mentioned Wen Peng to him before. He recounted Wen Peng's activities over the years, noting that they had been in the same university class, but Wen Peng had dropped out to go abroad. He returned to China 2 or 3 years later, while his mother always believed he was still overseas. Unable to understand why her son hid his whereabouts, she became emotional and retreated to her room. The father comforted Cheng Yi, reminding him to uphold his principles as a police officer and assuring him that his mother would come around. Cheng Yi returned home late to find Lu Yan still awake. He shared the revelation that Wen Peng's mother was also his mother. He finally understood why Wen Peng had always treated him with hostility, a feeling that had lingered since their university days when they were on the same basketball team. Now, the truth was clear. Meanwhile, Yu Zheng and Lu Hao meet Ruonan's former coach at the martial arts school. He praises her talent, calling her his proudest student. She dropped out to care for her mother, who was suffering from kidney failure. Yu Zheng suspects that Wen Peng took advantage of her martial arts skills by paying for dialysis treatment, thus binding her to him. Qian discovers Wen Peng's company address and waits outside the office building to see him. However, when Wen Peng notices her from his office, he orders his assistant to send her away. She met Lu Yan at the hospital and begs her to arrange a meeting with Wen Peng under the guise of a casual dinner. Lu Yan agrees and calls Wen Peng, who accepts the invitation. She still informs Cheng Yi about the plan. At the restaurant, Wen Peng is initially delighted to see Lu Yan, but his expression darkens when his father appears, and even more so when Cheng Yi joins them. Wen Peng prepares to leave, but Lu Yan persuades him to stay. During the tense dinner, Qian recounts how she had once tried to find Wen Peng after her divorce, but his father had threatened to harm their son if she pursued contact. Despite her fears, she filed a police report. Later, she mistakenly thought Wen Peng had moved abroad and didn't respond to her messages because of the time difference. Wen Peng coldly recalls searching for her only to find her doting on another child. He began to recount his dark times when she left him. The more he spoke, the more his mother felt heartbroken. Before leaving, he reveals that his decision to study medicine stemmed from watching his mother endure frequent injuries from domestic violence. Cheng Yi chases after him, urging him to show the mother some compassion. Wen Peng accuses Cheng Yi of deliberately making him look bad. When he tries to explain that he only came to ensure his mother's safety, Wen Peng sarcastically asks if Cheng Yi sees him as a threat. Wen Peng manipulates his anger further by fueling Bai Feng hatred instead with Yu Zheng and Cheng Yi. His assistant later informs him that the police have shown up at their film set for questioning. Wen Peng immediately orders the crew to wrap up early, deliberately hindering the investigation. Qin Yu, however, remains composed and assures them that the police will return the next day. Back at Bai Feng's home, Wen Peng shifts the blame for the police investigation onto him, deepening his animosity toward Cheng Yi. Lu Yan receives her mother's health report from Dean Han, who advises immediate surgery for a rapidly growing stomach polyp. She called and insisted her mother return to Ninghai for hospitalization. Meanwhile, Yu Zheng discovers that Yan Mei has a history of hospitalization in Changzhou. They visit the hospital and learn from her attending physician that she often comes alone and mentions her daughter working in another city. When her condition deteriorated, she left the hospital, opting against a kidney transplant. They then trace her caretaker, Ma Cheng, who resigned after Ru Nan's mother was discharged. At Wen Peng's villa, his father unexpectedly arrives, claiming the address as his new home. Wen Peng expresses only disdain, mocking him with stories of how much happier and younger his mother appears with her new family. This deeply angers his father. Wen Peng suffers another beating from his father. Despite his physical strength and ability to fight back, his reflexes from years of abuse render him helpless. Frustrated, Wen Peng retreats to his basement, where he smashes the wall of photos he had collected over the years. Now, only Lu Yan gives him the will to live. Unable to suppress his emotions, he rushes to the hospital to see Lu Yan during her night shift. He frightens her, but she tends to his wounds. Wen Peng recounts his father's recent abuse and pleads with Lu Yan to leave Cheng Yi and spend just one day with him. When Lu Yan asks if Wen Peng was involved in the deaths of Deng Man, Wang Qian and Ding Jing, he assumes she's bargaining with him. However, Lu Yan clarifies that she has no ulterior motives. In a fit of desperation, he pulled her into a forceful embrace and tried to kiss her. At that moment, Cheng Yi arrives to pick Lu Yan up and hears her yelling. He storms into the room, pushing Wen Peng away. Picking himself up, Wen Peng asks Lu Yan once more if she will be with him, only for her to hide behind Cheng Yi and shake her head. Heartbroken, Wen Peng leaves, wandering outside the hospital. He drinks from a bottle of liquor but remains painfully sober, drowning in his despair. The next day, Yu Zheng and Lu Hao track down Ma Cheng, the caregiver for Yan Mei. At a mahjong parlor in Chengzhou, Ma Cheng takes them to Yan Mei's former residence, which is now covered in dust. Lu Hao finds a cigarette butt under the fridge, and Ma Cheng insists he doesn't smoke, suggesting someone else had been in the house. Lu Hao reported to Cheng Yi and suspected that Ruo Nan's mother had passed away. The cigarette butt in the room proved that another man had appeared here. Yu Zheng noticed unusual bite marks on the cigarette filter and asked Lu Hao to prepare 2 packs of cigarettes to hand out to potential suspects in the area. At the police station, Cheng Yi interrogates Ruo Nan again, revealing details about Yan Mei's hospitalization and her discharge when her condition becomes untreatable. There's no record of further treatment or international travel. She begins to suspect the truth but refuses to believe her mother has died, stammering that she was shown recent photos of her mother. Cheng Yi notes her emotional response, reinforcing his theory. Yu Zheng notices she is being followed when returning to her hotel. She quietly calls Lu Hao, who steps outside but finds no suspicious individuals. They review the hotel surveillance footage and identify the stalker as Bai Feng. Lu Hao suspects that Bai Feng has been in Chengzhou since his release and may plan to retaliate against. They then visit a crematorium to search for records of Yan Mei's cremation but find none. However, the manager's curious interest in their inquiries raises their suspicions. Yu Zheng offers him a cigarette, and the manager's distinct way of biting the filter matches the marks on the cigarette butt found at Yan Mei's residence. Meanwhile, Qian, hoping to repair her relationship with Wen Peng, asked Lu Yan to help deliver a gift to him. Feeling conflicted, she told Cheng Yi about his mother's request. Cheng Yi took it upon himself to deliver the gift to Wen Peng. However, He tore up his mother's gift in front of Cheng Yi and tossed the gift into a trash can, showing complete disdain. He then declared that Cheng Yi was the root cause of all his misery. He cruelly added that Cheng Yi's relationship with Lu Yan would only bring her misfortune, leaving Cheng Yi both angered and unsettled. After Cheng Yi left, Wen Peng pieced together the pieces of paper and read them. The next day, Lu Yan went to the airport to pick up his mother to prepare for her upcoming surgery. Lu Hao went to the suspect's usual hangout to get his cigarette butt. Seeing things were not going well, Yu Zheng ran out of the car. Taking this opportunity, Bai Feng planned to rush in for revenge. He suddenly saw Yi Fan knock her down first. He called his master and started to act according to his plan. Unable to watch her die at the hands of another man, Bai Feng risked his life to fight him. He tried to break the glass door to give Yu Zheng some air before Yi Fan knocked him down. He called his master about Bai Feng's appear, and Bai Feng half awake realized that Wen Peng had tricked him. On this side, Lu Hao struggled with the men who had ambushed him earlier. Fortunately, the police showed up and arrested them. Yi Fan was also arrested immediately. Yu Zheng was taken to the emergency room. She saw Bai Feng beside her, and he felt remorse for everything. He also revealed that Wen Peng wanted to assassinate them both. Lu Hao reported the incident to Yi Cheng and Qin Yu reminded them to take a break. Yi Fan's arrest left Wen Peng in a precarious position. Wen Feng's assistant overheard Lu Yan and her mother discussing plans for her upcoming wedding with Cheng Yi. Infuriating Wen Peng further, he sought the opportunity to approach Lu Yan's mother. While she was waiting for Cheng Yi on a street corner, Wen Peng ordered a vehicle to strike her. Lu Yan's mother was gravely injured and rushed to the hospital, leaving Lu Yan devastated. Though desperate to stay by Lu Yan's side, Cheng Yi understood that capturing Wen Peng was more critical at that moment. Suppressing his pain, he asked Tang Jia to support and comfort Lu Yan at the hospital, while he steeled himself to leave and focus on bringing Wen Peng to justice. Yi Fan faced his crimes. On impulse, he blurted out that it was Wen Peng who gave him money to hide Yan Mei's body. After telling him where she was buried, Lu Hao reported the situation to Cheng Yi. He immediately ordered Wen Peng's arrest. When the police arrived, Wen Peng had already fled the company. He left behind a threatening letter and challenged Cheng Yi. Lu Hao discovered a basement filled with Lu Yan's photo collection. The police team mobilized all their forces to find Wen Peng. After getting the DNA test results of Ruo Nan's mother, Cheng Yi immediately went to interrogate her. At first, Ruo Nan didn't believe it. When Cheng Yi showed her the photos on Wen Peng's computer, she realized that the photos had been edited. Ruo Nan was shocked to learn that her mother had passed away 2 years ago. She worked faithfully to see her mother, perhaps to see her mother in heaven. She began to tell the whole truth. At first, she only acted in movies to pay for her mother's medical bills. Wen Peng approached her and asked her to work for him. Only then could she have money to treat her mother. Wen Peng first asked her to pretend to be Deng Man to scare Lu Yan. Then he asked her to take Wang Qian to the artificial lake. Deng Jing admitted that she had evidence that Wen Peng had murdered Deng Man. He asked Ruo Nan to look for the USB, but she could not find it. Before ending the interview, Ruo Nan repented and wished that after she passed away, she could be buried with her mother. After getting permission from Deng Jing's father, the police team searched her room for the USB. Cheng Yi found it in a lipstick box. After opening it, they saw Deng Man and Coach Zhou hugging each other. Then there was the agreement between Wen Peng and Deng Jing. Because Coach Zhou did not tell the truth, the case was closed as suicide. Cheng Yi requested that Coach Zhou be summoned for testimony. Late at night, he brought food to Lu Yan. The two found comfort and hugged each other. After Coach Zhou saw the video, he began to confess the truth. 3 years ago, he found out he had cancer. All his money was gone trying to save his bedridden wife. In desperation, Wen Peng came to him. He promised to pay all the hospital bills for both of them on the condition that he lied to the police about Deng Man. Wen Peng was dreaming of a happy life with Lu Yan. When he woke up, he was still confident that he still had a chance to win her heart. In the interrogation room, Wen Peng's assistant, Wu Di, sat nervously in the chair, drenched in sweat, under the intense questioning of Lu Hao and Lu Hao. Wu Di's mental defenses began to crumble. He confessed that he was all under Wen Peng's orders. Using the vehicle's location data, Qin Yu and Lei Yiming pinpointed the last known spot where Wen Peng's car was seen. They immediately reported their findings to Cheng Yi. After analyzing the situation, he deduced that the clues might be a deliberate misdirection by Wen Peng to lead their investigation astray. He warned Jingyu not to pursue the lead further. However, Jingyu, eager to capture Wenpeng, decided to proceed anyway. Wenpeng started to set the detonation system. Waiting until Jingyu rushed in, Wenpeng had successfully set a trap for him. Chengyi timely rescued Jingyu, saving him from the blast but losing consciousness himself. Lu Yan was taking care of her mother in the hospital when she heard that some police officers needed to be rushed to the emergency room. She rushed to the ambulance and was extremely confused when she saw Chengyi and Jingyu arrive one after another. Trying to stay calm, she stayed in the operating room to complete the task of cleaning his wound. After analyzing Wenpeng's psychology, Yu Zheng discovered that he had changed his target. Before, he did everything just to win Lu Yan's heart. Now, not only did he not get her, but he also lost his reputation. After this explosion, it proved that he was targeting Yi Cheng. Wenpeng deliberately exposed himself to be discovered by the police. Then he drove away. Cheng Yi was discharged from the hospital just to catch Wenpeng. The police caught one person, but it was not Wenpeng. He hired his underlings to disguise themselves one by one to fool the police. After failing to catch him several times, Cheng Yi felt something was wrong. Wenpeng had disguised himself as a doctor to gain easy access to the hospital. He entered Lu Yan's mother's room and easily captured her. Cheng Yi's group checked the camera and immediately chased after the car carrying Lu Yan. When Lu Yan wakes up, she finds herself in an unknown location with a crazed. Today is also Wenpeng's birthday. He prepared a birthday cake and made a scene. Lu Yan refused to eat the cake until he left helplessly. Cheng Yi tried to calm down and figure out where Wenpeng could be. There were no clues regarding his whereabouts at the moment. After some analysis, he suddenly remembered the photo of Lake Baikal with the note on the back. The next morning, Wenpeng happily went to cook noodles for her. Lu Yan immediately asked to go to the bathroom. When she saw the toothpaste, she thought of faking a fever. Wenpeng hurriedly tied her up and ran out to buy her medicine. She took this opportunity to take the knife that Wenpeng had left on the table the day before cutting the birthday cake and then cut the rope. Cheng Yi's side also started looking for her around Lake Baikal. Lu Yan tried every door to escape but couldn't break the door open. When Wenpeng returned, she quickly hid in the closet so that she could run out the main door when he had an opening. Wenpeng grabbed her but she fiercely resisted. She only had time to call for help momentarily before he caught her and took her back inside the house. Wenpeng bandaged her wound himself and waited until she woke up. He still gently blamed her for treating him badly. Wenpeng was disappointed that she did not return his feelings but Cheng Yi. He angrily blamed Cheng Yi for ruining his life. Realizing Lu Yan's disdain for her, he recounted everything he had done before. That year, he secretly filmed Deng Man kissing Coach Zhou, then indirectly threatened her with Deng Jing. When he saw Deng Man about to jump into the river, he stopped her. He helped Deng Man figure out how to fake her death to scare Deng Jing back. Deng Man started filming a video blaming Deng Jing and then jumped into the river. Wenpeng then called her to the shore because she had finished filming. She unfortunately got caught in a moss branch at the bottom of the lake. I don't know if Wenpeng did it intentionally or Deng Man was unlucky. Then he watched her sink, thinking this could separate Lu Yan and Cheng Yi. Lu Yan was heartbroken as he deliberately reenacted the scene. That year, when she was sick, he went to visit her and saw Cheng Yi's message asking her to meet before he left. Wenpeng deleted the message and refused to call, causing Cheng Yi to misunderstand for the past 8 years. When Cheng Yi arrived at the villa, Wenpeng called him and asked him to come out. He quickly located his position for his teammates to come rescue him. Wenpeng declared Cheng Yi had lost. There was nothing happier than going to heaven with a lover. Cheng Yi had to live in guilt and torment for the rest of his life. Cheng Yi challenged Wenpeng. Did he do all the wrong things and calculate carefully just to get this result? Cheng Yi continued to manipulate Wenpeng, making him hesitate, feeling that Cheng Yi's words were very convincing. Wenpeng rushed to grab the knife, forgetting that the rope was tying him to Lu Yan. Taking this opportunity, Cheng Yi tried to untie the rope on her. Wenpeng fell into the lake with the heavy anchor. Lu Yan's mother finally woke up. Cheng Yi's team was rewarded and promoted for solving the city's biggest complicated case. Wenpeng was finally apprehended. While he had long anticipated his ultimate fate, he hadn't foreseen Cheng Yi saving him. Cheng Yi replied simply, "I am a police officer. It is my duty not only to catch but also to save." Outside the detention center, Lu Yan waited anxiously in the falling snow for Cheng Yi. When he emerged, the two embraced tightly, overwhelmed by the relief that everything had finally come to light. With justice served, they no longer had to live in the shadows of the past. Before facing his final punishment, Wen Peng finally agreed to see his mother. Confronting her, he demanded to know why she chose to give birth to him if she never loved him. Unexpectedly, she revealed that his existence was not a mistake but a gift. She confessed she never regretted bringing him into the world. Hearing this, Wen Peng broke down in tears. Despite his regret, it was too late to change anything. Life returned to its regular rhythm. Bai Feng confessed his love to Professor Yu and she responded with a sweet kiss. Lu Yan and Sheng Yi went to admire the snow together. He gave her a snowflake necklace and the two promised to love each other forever. This marks the happy ending of drama. If you'd like to see more dramas like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and tell us how you liked this drama in the comments.